Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, the World Economic Forum, along with many other international organizations and big corporations, are now conspiring a plan that will make the COVID-19 lockdowns look like a walk in the park. Now, this is something that I've warned about on my channel for quite some time, at least for the past year, when I warned that if we allow these lockdowns, then these kinds of measures will be utilized for things like climate change in the very near future. Now, before I get into the report, I just want to remind you, please don't forget to check out my partner at noblegoldinvestments.com. If you've not converted your 401k into something backed by gold, silver, precious metals, or gotten a 401k, now is the time to do that. Because right now, Noble Gold Investments is giving away this American Eagle silver coin here. You can see that. This thing actually is pretty amazing. And I could blow it up a little bit for you, but you can see it there bright and clear. But they give this away with any approved IRA or 401k. So give them a call or find them on noblegoldinvestments.com. Let them know Lisa Haven sent you. All right. So what exactly would make the COVID-19 lockdowns look like a walk in the park? How about the fact that globalist international organizations such as the World Economic Forum, with the backing of many corporations, are actually supporting and backing the idea of COVID-style policies that can be used to combat climate change in this case. And as I'm about to show you, an article backed by a World Health Organization gal that specifically talks about using lockdowns to combat climate change. And again, I warned about this in early December, and I want to play that clip for you, for those of you who may doubt, but this is on restrictedrepublic.com. By the way, you need to get on there for that reason. I talked about this in December of last year and warned about it, and now we're here. But here's me saying it on restrictedrepublic.com over a year ago. Take a listen. You've been listening to me for over a year, and I know many of you can vouch for me on this. I said that once we allowed these freedom-stealing policies, that they would use them or use similar policies to combat climate change. And lo and behold, I am 100% right. But so there you have it. I warned back in December, and let me show you the video date on that so you know, December 24th, 2020. There's the date on that. I warned back in December that this kind of stuff would be something that they push in the very near future. And as you're going to see in this report, that is exactly what they're doing. So let me take you over to this first article here. And this is on www.wbsd.org. Who is WBCSD.org? Well, for starters, let me show you some of the members that back this organization. And you can see pretty much every single big corporation you can think of. Chevron, we have Dow, we also have many here. Google, that's a big one. IKEA, Honda, Kellogg's, and I'm just going to continue to scroll through the list here, and you can see P&G is a big one. We also have UPS, the Postal, Walmart there. So many of these organizations that are backing this WBSCD, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, right? Now, knowing that, let's flip on over back to the article. This is an article that they posted on their website as a vision for the very near future and their vision for the year 2050 or 2030, as Agenda 2030 likes to project. But it's avoiding a climate lockdown. Now, this entire article goes through how we need to mimic COVID-19 policies for climate change, including the lockdowns. Now, this was authored by a young woman by the name of Marina Mazzucato. And who is Marina Mazzucato? Well, I found her on the World Health Organization website. World Health Organization establishes a council on the economics of health for all. And who is the chairman of this? Well, scroll down a little bit. This is chaired by noted economist professor Marina Mazzucato, professor of the Economics and Innovation and Public Value and founding director in the Institute for Innovation and Public Purposes at the University College of London. So this gal has direct ties to the World Health Organization. But what does she say in this report? Well, that's the important part that I want to focus on. And in this article, same one, Avoiding a Climate Lockdown, she says this, and she's the author, okay? She says, as COVID-19 spread earlier this year, governments introduce lockdowns in order to prevent a public health emergency from spinning out of control. In the near future, the world may need to resort to lockdowns again, this time to tackle a climate emergency. Shifting Arctic ice, raging wildfires in western U.S. states and elsewhere, and methane leaks in the North Sea are all warning signs, she says, that we are approaching a tipping point on climate change when protecting the future of civilization will require dramatic intervention. And those are the very words she uses there. So again, a woman backed by the World Health Organization, also backed by WBCSD, which was that global conglomerate of businesses all around the globe. And she's saying very clearly that we need to tackle the climate emergency with lockdowns like we did for COVID. But she goes on in that article and expands a little more. And she says this. She says, and I quote, "Under a climate lockdown, governments would limit private vehicle use. They would ban consumption of your red meat and impose extreme energy-saving measures, while fossil fuel companies would have to stop drilling. To avoid such a scenario, we must overhaul our economic structure and do capitalism differently." Obviously, she is a big supporter of the Great Reset by Klaus Schwab. And the Great Reset is redoing our entire system into basically something I would call akin to socialism or communism. So here she's pushing at that reset button to do capitalism differently. And they're calling it a different form of capitalism. That's not really what it is. In my opinion, it's completely another socially and communist kind of stuff. But she goes on, finally, we also need to reorient our entire energy system around renewable energy, kind of like in California where they're having all those rolling blackouts. But the antidote to climate change and the key to making our economy energy secure, we must therefore evict fossil fuel interest and short-termism from businesses, finance, and politics. So there you have it. So as a recap of what she's looking for, lockdowns similar to that of COVID-19. However, these lockdowns, you're locked in your home, right? You can't ride or drive your private vehicles. You're going to have some kind of joint transportation. You cannot eat red meat during these lockdowns, and you have to impose extreme energy saving policies, setting your thermostat to certain temperatures, not being allowed to use certain parts of your dishwasher or washing machine or dryer, these kinds of things. These are pretty radical ideas, all in the name of saving the planet, so they say. From what exactly? Well, I'm not sure. And that's not all they want you to give up. Here's an article. And this was written by the BBC, right? And they entertain the idea that we need to give up flying for the sake of the climate. Flying. This is all a part of what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talked about in her new Green Deal. She literally talks about stopping cows from farting, not being able to fly. And now we have a joint effort, an international effort, pushing the idea of COVID lockdowns on steroids for climate change. And this isn't it. I also did a report on Restricted Republic. If you're not there, you need to get there. Use the coupon code 20 and the word off to take advantage of getting on Restricted Republic. But anyway, I talked about this on Restricted Republic. This is the International Energy Organization. The International Energy Organization is a conglomerate of about 30 nation states, including the United States of America, I believe the UK, New Zealand, and I believe Australia, and others as well. But it's 30 different nation states, and they've come together and they formed this roadmap to global energy and what we need to do. And I did an entire report on this. Again, get it on Restricted Republic. But this thing literally entertains the idea of all kinds of things. Same things that Marina is pushing in the article I just showed you. And here, I'll show you some of what they're talking about. Here, they're pushing behavioral changes. You can see that close by my head here under Key Solutions, behavioral changes, and how we need to reach this by the year 2050. Some of the things they entertain is basically in these first few phases here, by 2030, they want us all to have electrical cars. This is all outlined in the document. I can spend 3 hours on this report alone, but I'm summarizing it for you. Then by 2050, they want regional flights shifted to high-speed rail. So they basically want to limit where you're flying and make it more high-speed rail travel versus flying. And that's kind of the next bit. They do that, limit your travel by 2050. Basically, passenger cars, your more electrical cars. And then by the year 2030, we have this one here that I really want you to focus on. And it says that you have to set your temperatures in your house to 19 degrees and 20 degrees Celsius. If I convert that to Fahrenheit, that means about 66 degrees Fahrenheit to 67 degrees Fahrenheit when it is blistering cold outside. So if it's really cold outside, say you live in Alaska, somewhere really cold, well, the lowest you can set that temperature is 66 or 67. You can't put it at like a 72 or 73 or something like that and make it a little warmer in your house. Nope, 67 is your cutoff. And then if you go to the other one here, it says for the summer, 24 to 25 degrees Celsius. That translates to about 75 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit. So when it's boiling hot in the summer here in Arizona, it's about 110 degrees. Could go up to 115 degrees here in Arizona, and even higher than that. Then the most you can set your thermostat to is 75, 76 degrees. These are Orwellian policies that are usurping our society, not only here in America, but all across the globe. Look, the bottom line to this thing is they want control over every aspect of your life. They're going to keep the fear-mongering of COVID-19, the Delta variant, fill in the blank for the next variant, and fill in the blank for the next one, the next one, and the next one, forever, amen. I don't believe COVID is ever going to go away. So either we accept the tyranny and we're there forever, or we say enough is enough. And where are we going to go in the future? Well, nobody knows. But according to a lot of these globalist organizations, they truly intend to do COVID-style lockdowns to combat climate change. Want some evidence on that? Take a look at this article, and this is on gatewaypundit.com. Existential threat. Biden says we need to address climate change with a unified national response, just like we did with COVID-19. Then we have foxnews.com. This is an article that was put out 23 hours ago. Climate crisis. We will be worse than COVID. The climate crisis is going to be worse than COVID? That's according to Schumer. Wait, if we don't do anything and pass this bill, then the whole world's going to die if we don't fill in the blank. If we don't lock down for climate change, then the whole world is going to die, just like they said with COVID. There's always going to be an excuse. Please understand that. Then we also have Reuters.com. To battle climate crisis, we need to do it like we did with COVID. Red Cross urges governments of the world. So they're being urged to push these policies, and the likes of Schumer and the likes of Biden are all saying, we're all going to die if we don't lock ourselves in our homes. Like, for real? I don't know about you, but I'm so sick and tired of hearing their BS, right? And threatening us with death if we don't give them everything we own. And as the World Economic Forum likes to say, you own nothing. You will rent it all and be happy. That's where we're headed. Anyhow, I love all of you, and thank you so much for tuning in. With that, please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel here. And by the way, I'm on Getter, Gettr, the new platform there. So please make sure you follow me. I'm under Lisa Haven - Restricted Republic. So look me up there. I'm on Parler. I've got an account on BitChute under Lisa Haven as well. So and Rumble, it's under Restricted Republic. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.